Genuinely, on the episode that we put out with you on it, they said, "Oh, just keep him, just keep him on the show." Innit?
But they didn't, did they?
One thing I was actually going to ask you, yeah. See the White Rhino. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I don't feel like you big yourself up, but behind the scenes you be doing stuff for people as well, which is good, man.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not in.
But how are you finding living with the opposite sex?
I honestly, and I'm not even just saying this, yeah. It's gonna sound mad soft. Nah,
you know do it. Go in.
You know
I hate arguments, but you know one thing that annoys me? I go to sleep so quick if we're not talking. And it's so bad. Coming here today, I was thinking about the fact this is the 50th episode.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing achievement, I think should first of all be said. Especially for two people that, I'll be honest, I didn't think they'd get this far.
Why do you say that? You good? Yeah, we're inside. And we're back in the building with a superstar.
No, wait, I wanted to start this
shut
episode.
your mouth.
No, I wanted to start this episode. Let me start.
Shut your mouth, bro.
No, genuinely. Don't start like that. Don't start like that. Please.
I'm trying to get like my
I
man.
know, but he deserves more time. Before that, I just want to say, welcome everyone to the 50th episode.
Can I?
No, I'm doing it.
Main
I'm doing it.
I didn't even get a chance.
Is this actually how this is starting?
I didn't get a chance, bro, to say anything.
See.
No, I can't. Do your thing. You was so adamant, so go on, do your thing.
No, because you know when you're driving here, I'm thinking, you know what? The first 2 minutes, I'm gonna make sure everyone knows it's the 50th episode. I'm gonna say,
take it away from now. You have your moment.
What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of On the Rocks podcast. It's our 50th. Yeah, round of applause, everyone. Yeah. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. We need that. You know, we want to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. We need that. Next.
Can I just say, considering he said he thought about this in the car, all he had was welcome back and then the energy dipped.
And we need that.
Yeah, we need that.
We need that.
You ruined my whole flow, man.
No,
you ruined my whole flow.
My flow. Anyway, like he said, 50th episode. We're in the building.
Subscribe.
Yeah. We've got the White Rhino.
Come
Dave
on.
HORNER, back again.
Come on.
Much requested guest. I can't lie.
It's not though, is it?
No.
We've been no.
As in, genuinely, on the episode that we put out with you on it, they said, "Oh, just keep him.
Yeah.
Just keep him on the show, innit?"
But they didn't, did they?
No, because
So what happened there?
I've been saying, no word of a lie, I've been saying that you should be coming on. This guy saying, nah.
We spend a lot of time together.
But that's also cap.
It's not cap.
It is.
I've got messages.
Show them.
Deleted.
Joke, man.
I don't know why I'm in this mood.
You're in a good energy today.
I'm actually really happy. You know what I mean? In the 50th episode.
It's a big deal still.
It's a big deal.
You posted on your story today about me coming on the pod and you called me David.
I know.
Which is only my mum.
I know.
Calls
when
me
I said
David.
it, I
call you David as well.
I mean that's the Nige in you. You're in for David. Do you know what I mean?
That one made me feel the type of way still, like I'm a teacher or whatever, but it's calm.
I know a lot of Nigerian men called David as well.
It's a very Nigerian name.
Biblical, isn't it?
Yeah.
David and Goliath, you know.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Killing man with a stone.
Samuel as well. It's a biblical name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big up, man. You
Sav
love your Bible names, innit?
Sav
definitely isn't.
Isn't at all.
At all.
Where did you get that from then?
It's a family name, actually. It got passed down through the generations. So
really?
Careful, because I will slam your head into that wall.
Yeah.
You need to stop.
Many famous Savils. But we won't.
Many famous Davids as well. We could go into all the people named David because there's been many of those. Yeah. Anyway, what are you telling me, my bro?
Yeah, man. What's
How
good?
you been? What's the latest in that?
What is the latest? I'm good. Do you know what? Do you know what? I'll plug. I just started doing TikToks.
Yeah.
About I don't know, about 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to do it for a while. And I always kind of had that thing of like, well, what am I going to do? And people probably don't know this about me, but my kind of guilty pleasure in life is I'm a big fan of the wrestling.
Shouldn't be guilty, bro.
So I figured, sod it. Do you know what I mean? Let's start putting some stuff out there. So it's the same as my Instagram and Twitter and all that. It's just HORNER_DM. Been making TikToks and that. So come along if you want a bit of nostalgia wrestling.
Yeah. No,
if you want to talk about what's
good.
going on in the world of all the graps, as they call it these days.
You see with Dave, yeah, as in there's nothing Donnie knows more about than wrestling.
No, it's mad. When I was listening to some of the stuff, because the first video that I saw was the top 10 soundtracks, and the detail that he was going in, I said, I don't know wrestling enough then. I thought I know wrestling. Like,
no, you don't.
Genuinely.
You don't know anything, Johnson.
If I'm honest though, I think wrestling is the kind of thing, because you're a bit like this as well, where I think a lot of people know more than they let on. Not so much that they're fans, but they have a stronger knowledge than they let on, because everyone thinks it's the kind of thing that I'm not talking about that.
No.
So what I would like to say is, in terms of the TikTok stuff I'm doing, it's a safe space. Let's come talk about wrestling. That's what it's there for. So
no,
get involved.
it's good still. Cause
Don't tell Oba to get involved, because I'm telling you, bro, man will be there at your door. Like, you see,
main character on my TikTok,
man
he'll be there.
So
Any
stop this main
opportunity.
character notion. It's not good. I don't really like it either. It's not a thing. Okay. Yeah, it needs to stop now.
Well, if
Yeah,
you
it does
don't
need to
if
stop.
you don't like it, then it must stop.
Yeah.
See, this
Because
is,
you are the main.
I'm not having this, because I'm just bigging you up for your great TikToks. The only thing I would say is add music.
Yeah, do you know what? I haven't
makes it
done it
easier to
yet,
take
but
in.
mainly because couldn't quite work out how to do it. But I will do so going forward.
But you do all
You
the
gotta remember,
editing. How
I'm
does that?
old, bro.
How
I'm not-
though? You literally do the editing. You did the thing where the thing pops up on the side.
Yeah,
the
but-
text.
Yeah.
That's harder than adding music.
Is it?
Yeah, literally. I'll show you after.
Well, I mean, from now on, the thing is that this is what he's like. If it pops now, forever it's
because
gonna
I
be
told
because
you
I
to
put
put
you on.
music
All I'm saying is, if you put a Walls of Jericho behind that video, that could have gone. Do you know what I mean? If you
Why?
put the,
It didn't make the list.
oh no, but you spoke about it.
I spoke about it.
Yeah, you spoke about it,
Break
and that's
down
how
the
you know
world.
that I actually took it in.
Kind of half spoiler there.
Yeah. One thing I was actually going to ask you, yeah. See the White Rhino. How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
Do you know it's mad? There are so many people. Do we need some context there for anyone that probably doesn't know? On our
bit, yeah.
Snapchat show, Sav introduces me as the White Rhino. Once the whitest of rhinos, which we took out because we thought it was a bit mad.
Left it on the pod though, so
so
people have
funny.
asked me where it comes from. It came from nowhere. You just said it one day.
do you know what? It was a strain of crow back in the day. Like man in
Yes.
my area
Yes.
was selling White Rhino.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a very specific story about White Rhino. Not to do with me, but one that I won't go into on a pod. But yeah, it was. Yeah, it was mad.
That was a strain of crow. So I remember back in the day, like one of my brothers brought, I was like, that's a weird name for a strain, but cool, whatever. And then it just went away. Like I never heard about it again. Cool, whatever. And then how did it even? I think I remember thinking I'm just gonna say it. I just said it, and then man was like, "Ah, that's a lit."
Nah, yeah.
Nickname,
It's
When when we used to work in the office, Milad, one of the boys, used to refer to me as the Silverback, and that stood for a while. And it was one of
He's
those.
such a weird guy.
It was
man.
one of those things where it was just like, okay, cool. I mean,
I ain't
fine.
gonna walk in a cool man silverback.
That's a bit-
Everyone's big to Mills because he's little.
That's true still.
So I just figured, okay, fine. So I always thought, oh, it's off the back of that. And I also always thought, because a rhino has a horn, I thought it's because I got a big nose. That's where I thought you first got it from.
Never because of that. I
But
can't.
it's just for no reason.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
It's mad
fair
though.
enough,
It
it's
is
good.
mad though in terms of now, like,
People just coming up to you and say, "Hey, White Rhino."
literally. But do you know the weird one is these people with White Rhino, people say it as if it's like code. I've had people. I was on a stag do walking through Shoreditch, and a guy walked past me and literally leant in and went, "White Rhino." And my brother came up to me and was like, "Did that guy just?" I was like, "Yeah, he did. Yeah, out of nowhere."
That is so funny.
Yeah.
It's global, fam. Glazed though.
Glaves,
Glaive
Doble.
Dave, it's global. I can't even talk today.
Yeah.
What's changed in your life since we last spoke to you? Give us a good piece of news. That the
Because
peop-
Davis works you still.
Yeah, Davis
Real-
works you, fam.
I don't feel like you big yourself up, but behind the scenes you be doing stuff for people as well, which is good, man.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not in. No, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean, you know, when someone says, "What's going on in your life?" It's like, what have I done? I don't know. You say you do things for people. You have conversations with people in life. If it's a
No,
nice
but
conversation.
you're the type to put people in better positions and
I
give people
appreciate
chances and stuff.
Thank
Nah,
you.
he is factually.
I don't like getting.
I don't
compliments.
care,
We'll
bro.
move away from it. What's going on in my life? I don't really think much has changed. I'm trying to think when did you guys first start doing the pod? Because then I'll have an idea of when I
Literally a
came.
year
This
ago.
time last
bro.
year, yeah.
A year ago. Okay, so a year ago. So
'Cause we got you on like the 20th episode or something like that.
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. So
Like it was late in 2021, wasn't it? Or was
So-
it early 22?
I guess maybe I moved in with my missus.
That's actually
I love that.
Do you know what?
Maybe
Alright,
that
cool.
happened in
It
that
was
time.
the 20th episode. That was really.
That was
good.
actually 20th
Yeah,
episode?
20th episode.
That's mad.
exactly.
Oh, mad! It was February that we moved in. So
Okay.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's happened since then.
So
You
that's
know what?
happened
That's a good little, because recently the same thing, kind of. How are you lot finding? Yeah, because this is, you don't have to go into specifics and you don't have to incriminate yourself because I know how the gal them get. But how are you finding living with the opposite sex? Because I feel like this is the sort of thing that you can really, I'm giving you a piece of rope here. You can either do something good with it or you can hang yourself.
Ooh.
But how
You
you
want me to go
finding it?
first?
Yeah,
You
go
know
on.
what it is? So
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank
big
you.
up to you
Appreciate
still.
it,
because
man.
because
Appreciate
you
it.
and Kads have just literally what in the past month moved in.
Yeah, I'd say, but we still got some stuff to do in that. But yeah,
Which you
nice.
just don't do. According to you, sometimes we was just
Yeah.
chilling that day.
That was mad.
We
We
were
was
just
even was talking
We
to
had
me
loads
about.
of stuff to do. but
Oh,
we
I
was just
got
chilling.
to move this weekend on Saturday. I was saying, do you need help? I'll come do this.
Yeah.
Spoke to us. How did it all go? Oh, we just chilled. And
Yeah, no, but you know what it is? Because man's really been working recently. I just had that day and I was like, I'm not doing that today. Like, it was just long. So we actually just chilled. We had the sofa and whatever. So
You
we're
need
just
those
watching
days,
films.
though. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
chill off. But in regards to your question,
Yeah.
I honestly, and I'm not even just saying this, yeah. It's gonna sound mad soft. Ah,
Nah,
you know the
do
thing-
it.
oh,
Go in.
gosh. You know the like genuinely, we've got closer, yeah.
Oh.
But I've seen sides that have made me appreciate her more, and that's me being
That's
completely
nice,
honest.
man.
That is
Like,
very nice.
Being completely honest,
Would
I
she
wish-
say the same?
maybe, but like,
Because I think you are hard to live with.
I don't think I am. I think I'm quite simple, but I think because when we were at uni and stuff, we were together all the time. But I think we've developed, obviously, as you do, in relationships. And I've said it on a pod before. Like, as you're going on, you actually have to learn how to love the new versions of people, innit? So, her latest version. Amazing. You know what I mean?
That's good, man. That's nice though. When
There
you said
obviously
I was
is-
Why
Yeah,
do you sound
proper
like there's a
soft,
gun to your head, bro?
No,
Stop.
because
Just say it normally,
it's just
bro. It's
soft.
actually
It just makes me feel
Does-
because I've
does
never
she
actually
watch?
jumped on the pod and said that. Yeah, but
she watches.
yeah,
there
but
you
still,
go.
it's not even that. Honestly, man, them.
Okay.
The only thing the only negative is if you are to have like a disagreement, yeah, and I think we've had like a few. There's nowhere to go, bro.
Yeah,
There is nowhere.
that
There is
tough,
nowhere
yeah.
to go. So, and I'm the type of person that I can't sleep without squashing. So it's got we are squashing it
100%.
tonight.
Do you know the maddest thing about that? And this isn't me. I hate arguments at all. But you know one thing that annoys me? I go to sleep so quick if we're not talking, and it's so bad. And I've said this to her in the past. Like, it's one of those things where I want to fix it. But you know, sometimes when you get into bed and you're both like not talking, I'll be gone. I'm gone quick. And I wake up like, oh fuck, I didn't fix it. I didn't sort it.
Do you know how funny that is? You roll over and she's not there no more. Like that is so jokes.
I'm the opposite of that, bro. Like if I'm going to sleep and I know something's not resolved, it doesn't matter if it's my bridging, it's my girl, family member.
Yeah,
It has to get sorted.
No,
still.
I'm the same mentally.
But when it
But
comes,
something about when my head's on that pillow and I'm
game
in a
over.
mood, there's something
gone.
chemically that just goes, it's lights out now,
I know
and,
she's
we're asleep.
pissed as well because you're a snorer. So not only have you not resolved it, but you're there snoring away.
I am not the snorer.
You had to say that categorically.
Yo, I've stayed in the same room as you on multiple occasions, fam. This
Same
guy,
bed on occasion.
have we?
Yeah.
Leeds.
Don't make this sound mad.
No, Leeds, stag do.
Nah, come on, it was a stag.
Free in a room,
forgot about
two
that.
double beds. So two of us had to share.
Sam was in the
Luke
middle.
was
fam,
6'5",
Sam was in
so
the
it's
middle.
gonna be me and you,
Big
isn't
up
it?
Luke a lot. There was two beds. Relax. You're a weird guy.
3 beds. Sam just.
Where's the one sandwich?
We didn't go to bed in the same bed, but we woke up somehow. He was next to me.
Safe. Leeds was anyway. We'll move away from them things.
Yeah.
To go off what Sam was saying, though, I get it. It's nice.
Have you learned anything about yourself?
Yes, I've not so much something new. I've learned. I've learnt the impact on ways I knew about myself on other people. Do you get what I mean? Because beforehand, I lived with my
That's deep.
my boy Luke before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd lived obviously away for a few years and whatever. So I knew things about myself. But when you live with a friend, you don't kind of pull each other up on that stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas she was quick to pull me up on everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things where, like, my mindset is always that a relationship is about two people being a team, and you got to realize that. And I know this sounds mad to use as an analogy, right? But when you look at, say, for example, me and you with Snap and with anything we do together work-wise, I think me and you have had disagreements over the years, or we've had things that we've felt differently about. But I think the one thing that we learn early on with each other is that even when we don't agree on the way to do something, the one thing that we're both clear on is that we both want the right outcome. And so even though we're not agreeing, there's no need to be angry or have animosity between each other, because you're both trying to get to the right thing. You're just going about it in different ways.
Yeah.
He slightly needs to learn that.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all, actually. Like, I'm genuinely a person that compromises in those scenarios. If I no, it's not even like the only way I would disagree wholeheartedly is if I can't see, like, let's say we've got an idea to execute something that we thought of, and you're saying something and I'm thinking, nah, like, this isn't gonna work. I will say it up until we do it, even if I've agreed till that day before, just so you know that's how it felt, just so, like, you know, in it, but I won't hold it to you.
I know what you mean, yeah, but that's what I mean. It's about making sure that you know that each other are both trying to live a happy life as well. And if you have those moments where the two of you don't disagree on something, she always says that, you know, there's always those tweets where they say, like, over dramatic person and a calmer person. So she says that it works because she's over dramatic and I'm quite a calm person. So
see, the fact that she admitted that is the reason he can say that, because you see,
if she hadn't said that,
it's long.
In fact, right now I'm worrying that maybe she didn't. I'm pretty sure she did.
See, I'm telling you now, the wrath is crazy. She will smite you. You know them like biblical things.
There are times when if she really winds me up with something, there are times when my hatred goes to him. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know her.
That is so dope.
It's actually, that's funny.
She's quality.
What I was gonna say, he's legend.
Just
what
got
I was gonna say,
in there.
for real.
At the end, innit?
But what you actually said about having to compromise and stuff, is so true, because I got a perfect example. So my girl wanted to get a life-size mirror. And she wanted to put it upstairs.
The floor to ceiling one.
Yeah. So I'm all there saying, are you sure this is going to fit? Are you sure? Yeah.
Have we measured?
We've done the measurements, all of that stuff. Got the mirror now. We're all trying to take it upstairs. It's not fitting. I'm like, this isn't going to bend. It's a mirror type of thing, yeah? She's just there, like, looking. And I said, I told you. But these hands, because she, like, before it would have been like don't tell me now, like, type of thing. But now we can laugh at it. The mirror's downstairs. It still works, kind of thing. So we'll just keep it moving. But if it was before, a few years ago, that actually could have been an argument. Like, do you know what I mean? So
also, if you've had those things and it's been all right between the two of you, the next one down the line, you can quite, in a joking way, say, are we going to have a situation like the mirror again?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's your way of saying, let's measure. Let's check.
Those ones are technical, though. Like the ones where you're saying you're drawing up on anecdotal evidence that the evidence against them.
No, but but it's good for every type of relationship, because even with you today, I was telling you, like, communication could be, a bit better. Do you know what I mean? And you try.
No, you go on, because we can do this right here, right now with an audience.
I have a question for the two of you off the back of what you're saying.
We're not doing it. I forget. Stop what I'm saying. I'll carry on.
Kind of plays into what was going on there. But I actually come in here today, I was thinking about the fact this is the 50th episode, right? Which is an amazing achievement. I think should first of all be said, especially for two people that, I'll be honest, I didn't think they'd get this far.
Why do you say that?
Only because not because it wouldn't do well.
Yeah.
I knew it would be fire if you two sat down and did a pod. I just know that you are both sometimes very hard people to pin down, time-wise, socially, especially like on a week-to-week basis. And I knew that you are also both stubborn with each other, in that if one of you is being more difficult about something, you're both going to argue about it. So it wasn't I didn't think it would work because it wouldn't work. I knew if you could do it, it'd be wicked. But I was like, I hope they can pull this together. So the fact it's at 50 is amazing. But my question when I was driving over here thinking about the fact it's 50 episodes was, I would ask both of you, obviously you were boys before, but since doing the pod, what's one thing you've learned about the other one?
You start.
Purely from this experience of doing the podcast.
He's a lie. No, I'm joking. No, he's not a lie. That's a good question.
We got Dave still.
I feel like I had what we were actually talking about today. Like genuinely, yeah. Like I had my. Obviously, we were close in the office, yeah, but it was like a work close. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you go out at motives and it'll be us. Like, do you know what I mean? So that was that type of close. But as we've got closer over this period, like, even though, see, I'll big you up, yeah. He's a guy that can give seriously good advice when you're going through it, like
I'll vouch for that as well.
To an extreme extent as well, like. But on the other side, I think, and I said it to him on the pod as well, he struggles to open up, in my opinion, to me.
I like that. I like that as an answer though.
No.
I wanted something deeper. That's good.
Yeah, no, facts. I don't open up for no one, first and foremost. What you just said is mad.
Stop being childish.
I just had to say that quickly because that's crazy.
That's insecure of you, you know. You had to say that.
Nah, I hear that. I think it's interesting you say that though, because I feel like what you say is definitely true in terms of whenever you have a work relationship with somebody, it's always that's the way you met and that's the capacity that you know them in, innit? And that's it. The same with Dave, to be fair. It's like I knew Dave through work, but it takes for things to happen outside of work for you to become that proper dogs. You get what I'm saying? So I hear that one there. What was your second thing again? Oh yeah, the opening up thing. Do you know what? I was having this conversation with my friend the other day, and I've said the same thing to you before on this podcast. It's like I've been called a lone wolf in the way that I behave, in the way that hold on.
Who says that about themselves?
No, I didn't say that about myself. I said I've been called.
But that's just a way round. Do you know what I mean? I've been called a very good guy. You know?
That's not what I just said. Being a lone wolf is not a good thing.
No, I'm saying it's the same thing.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is being a lone wolf is not a good thing. Like, I think it would probably be better if I wasn't that way inclined, where I was more like, yeah, I'm a pack animal, but to go and break away and do what.
I think you're a result of your experiences, aren't you?
And that's what I understand. I can accept that because as I've got closer to him, I know he's dynamic and it does make sense. But for me, and that's what I was saying to him, like genuinely, because my dynamic was a bit different because I was the youngest boy, so I had to almost. The friends that I had close to me, they were like literally brothers. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like as I've got older, it's not the same with everyone, but it's like I almost pick and choose who man can like really like open up to and be like that to a certain extent. But I feel like your dynamic has always been, maybe this is just an assumption, but like off of how you are when, it's not even when things aren't great or whatever, because everyone has those moments, but it's like as in, if I can see on your face that there's something happening or you're just not fully there, I'll be like, oh, like Sav, wagwan, like you just be like, I'm calm. But if it's me and you know me, I'll be like, hey, you got 10 minutes, like let's talk about this. Do you know what I mean?
I think with him, it's right time and right place. I think sometimes you got to ask him something in the right setting. There's been many times with Sav, I think, where I know something's going on or whatever, and I know at some point we'll talk about it, but I'll see him 3 or 4 times before we have a conversation, and in those 3 or 4 times I'll know this isn't when he'll talk to me about this. So either I won't ask or I'll say, are you good? We don't have to talk about it now, but are you good? And you'll say something like, yeah, we'll talk at some point. And that's when okay, there's something, but we'll wait for the right time. Yeah, I think with you, because I've had moments like that with you as well, where opened up as well, and I think that it took me and you a little while to get there as well. It's those. I think with me and you, it was those like Friday nights when work was done, people had left, and you just start talking, and then over time you start talking about life and what's happening in your life and situations. And I think those situations, and then maybe chuck in a couple of those nights that involve a couple drinks and whatever, where people start to open up a bit. And I remember specifically us having a conversation in Leeds where both of us were talking about stuff, what was going on and whatever. And I think over time you realise that I think we're very lucky in that through our work we met a very select group of people that you would consider your boys, and then furthermore some of them that you consider your brothers. Sav, me and Sav met what, 8 years ago now, maybe 9.
He's had decade years experience in this thing, so
we met when I was 17, so yeah, 9 years. Oh, 9 years ago. 9 years ago, yeah.
Yeah,
mad.
9 years ago. We need to celebrate next year at some point. We'll go for a meal.
Yeah, that's mad.
That is mad.
And I'm trying to work out time-wise when it was. I think it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago that me and you became very close. So it took 3 to 4 years of knowing each other and being boys, but not like
to that extent.
Yeah. And then I think it's experiences, isn't it? You go through. I've always said this, that I've gone through like the most difficult points in my adult life. He was there. I had a few very close people to me who were there. He was one of them. And him, and outside of my family, and by that really I mean my brother, because certain things in your life you don't really open up too much to your mum and dad about, whatever.
Facts.
But outside of my brother, there was 2 people who were there every day, and that was because of work, and it was Sav and Millard. And the weird thing is that over the course of years, all 3 of us, in terms of me, you and Millard, have all gone through situations like that, where the other 2 of us were there every day and had to go through those conversations. Crazy. And then as time's gone on, because you joined the company a little bit later, we've then had those situations with you where you realise you've gone 5 hours and no one's spoken about work. Do you know what I mean? Those kind of things. And I think that's how it comes about. In terms of you asking about it on the podcast, sorry, I'm rambling, but in terms of you asking about with Sav opening up on the podcast, I would say, I think that when you consider what I've just talked about in terms of how long those things take to build, I think on something like a podcast, I even think this with what we do on Snap, you very much need the right moment with the right topic at the right time where you might reflect on a situation. Do you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Because the way he was talking about it, man, his head was just down. It was like, you know, them kids that have been talking about assembly.
I'm just taking it in.
Yeah, I'd say, but I think you're a bit like that as well. I think you sometimes, I think laughter's sometimes a defense mechanism.
It is. I'm so angry that you clocked that, you know. The jig is up. Damn.
No, but that's been the case though.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no, but I feel
by no means a bad thing.
But for the right people to know that it's calm, but for the wrong people, then it's just like, do you know what I mean?
Now, Sam has got the. Actually, I don't even want to say that. I can't say. I can't even say it. Yo.
Yo. No, but what was I gonna say? No,
I have the defense mechanism of laughter too thing. It's not. I notice it because I do it.
But I know what he was gonna say. But we can't do that. But what are you? So what have you learned about
you?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna echo exactly what you said, but similar to what you said as well. To be fair, but I think other than. I was gonna say something so dumb. I'm not gonna say it.
Relax, brother.
I would say, yeah, that a couple things. One, and don't take this in the wrong way, right? Because this is actually a good thing. But I didn't realize how good you were on camera, right? It's a good thing. This is not to say.
I agree on that. Yeah.
I wouldn't. This is not to say that when I watched you on FD, I thought, he's dead. Even though I have thought that, but I'm not gonna say that's my main thought. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's the reflection in the glasses.
But more time, it's like I feel like with FD, it's a very niche thing. You're never actually going to get to know a man through talking about football. You will, in terms of like their tendencies and how much they defend their club in certain situations. But
it's linear in terms of topic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like you one, you get to know the person more. Two, you get to see what they're like more naturally. Because the reason I say that is it's one thing being good on camera as a presenter, but it's another thing being good on camera just as somebody who's talking. Because to present to camera is cool. If you're good at that, you're good at that. But to talk candidly about topics and also do it articulately, it's not an easy thing to do every single week for an hour. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's something I clocked about you.
Which I think the instead of you laughing about it, I think that shows that like the limit is beyond for you with stuff you want to do.
Don't tell him that, bro, because he'll be hitting up NASA like, I'm trying to go to the moon. Like,
no, but I don't mean it's just to big you up.
I appreciate that, though.
Now big him up though.
Like, it's like me saying about doing the TikTok stuff about wrestling. Sometimes I think you get to a certain point where you think, I want to branch out. I want to try different things. I want to try things that I want to, and have interest in. And I think that this is, in terms of a platform for you guys to showcase that, I think you've smashed it.
I appreciate that. No, real talk, I actually appreciate it, because what I was thinking, because I don't think man them even say that to each other much. I feel like we do it.
Say what?
Like, just big
You're
each other.
good at this.
Yeah, like you're actually good at this, because I feel like in this industry, it can get quite fake. Like people can see things that you're on because of the channel or whatever you're doing. Oh, you're smashing it, man. But what do you mean by that?
You
like,
don't know what I'm doing.
Do you,
You
yeah,
don't know
like,
what I'm doing.
Because
So we post a pick up of me doing something. Oh, you're doing your thing, bro.
Exactly.
What does that mean?
What I prefer is when people say, I watched that video and like you was either making a point or you made me laugh, or just say something that is actually like referring to not just, oh, you're doing your thing, bro.
No, but it's easy to say though. Like, it's an easy thing to say. If somebody pops up here on anything, some show or some podcast, and you see them doing it, you don't necessarily have to have watched it. Right, man, see you do your thing. Like, it's an easy thing to say.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
But that's why if ever I meet someone that I do actually consume their content,
yeah.
if ever I'm going to speak to them, I try to like remember something that was spoken about or whatever. Even a perfect example of it is even the first time I came on here, I didn't want to do that thing of sitting there and going, oh, thanks for having me on. Yes, wicked, the pod's quality. So I made a point of a couple of days before coming on, going back and listening. And I think if you go back and listen to the first episode of this I was on, one of the first things I did was bring up something you boys had talked about.
I remember.
And then talked about it again. Because in my mind, it's like, if I show that little bit more of a, oh, he watched. If someone comes up to me and says, I loved what, even if it's not even about me, oh, Sav was cracking me up when he talked about this. It's like, oh, cool. You actually watched. Way more. Yeah. Like, it actually shocks me sometimes when people give something specific, because I think when people say, oh, you're doing your it's like, are you watching? Or are you just, and I don't mind, like the support is wicked. Like,
there's not a problem with it, but
it takes me back a bit when I realise, wow, someone actually watched. They actually listened. That's mad. You kind of still don't really realise that when you sit in front of a camera and say, we sit in front of a camera and say words for 8 minutes and try and make each other laugh, or in certain situations try and bring awareness to something that might seem important. You don't realise, I guess, in the moment that I just think I think people almost put stuff on and forget. The idea that someone might actually listen to what you're saying. And I only say this because I don't mean it to be self-serving at all. I say it because when I watch other people's content that I actually listen to, there's very few people that I really digest, actually take in.
And that's even a part of me that I'm trying to change as well. Because like you said, like I can't remember the scenario I was in the other day, but I saw someone, they do content, football content. I've seen a few clips of their stuff, but I've never fully watched an episode. Yeah. Because I didn't think I'd be as interested, because I just feel like like, you know, when you do something so often, like it's just like, what can this really do for me. Do you know what I mean? Except from if it's something completely different, like a Filthy Fellas or something, like they have conversations that we genuinely don't have on screen. Like, do you know what I mean? So I saw one of his clips, yeah, and it made me laugh, or whatever. So when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, I saw this, and then we must have been having a conversation, but because I didn't watch the rest of the episode, it just got a bit like awkward. Like, do you know what I mean? But then the reason why I even brought this up is because it's a peers thing in my thing. I don't mind when people take in the content. Like, had one Donnie come up to me today saying, "I watch you on Snapchat." I was like, "No, I appreciate that. Like, you don't have to tell me what you watch, but it's more about the people that you could consider as peers because you're doing the same thing, and they don't. It's like it doesn't feel this genuine. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got people saying like nice things about man, yeah, but there's also times where I've heard some things and I'm just like, you don't really like mess with man like that. It's almost as if you feel like you have to say it because it's either something that's going on or the conversation that we're having. But it's not that deep, but it's just something that I've always thought about. So when you said it, I was like,
I think there's also another side to that. Is there's an element sometimes of when it's peers and it's genuine. I almost, I don't know about you, but I almost feel a slight level of insecurity around the fact that someone who does the same kind of thing likes what you do. I kind of have a thing of, like, a perfect example, right? And I don't even know if we have spoken about this openly or anything, but Stevo once posted on Twitter about like rating the show, and we got in contact about Stevo saying like, thank you for that and would love to get you on at some point. And he gave me his number and was like, yeah, we'll talk about it. And it's one of those things where love Stevo, the guy's quality. Also one of the like terms of people you look up to and go, that's the way to do it. Like, unreal. But in a weird way, like, there's two sides to it, right? First of all, we always talked about when's the right time to get him in to do something. Want to make sure we do that right for him as well. Like, how can we benefit him at some point? And so potentially overthinking that to a certain point where a lot of time goes by and we haven't reached out. And it's not a case of not wanting to do it, it's a case of wanting to do it right too much, probably. And also somewhat a little bit of an insecurity, the idea that, like, if you see where we shoot, like, it ain't the most professional of settings.
I told somebody the other day.
We do a good job of making it look
very good,
but it's like, do we want to say to Stevo, yeah, come and shoot something, and have him walk in and go, these guys are jokers?
I hear what you're saying,
and I'm not saying it's not that we're not. It's our job, and we take it very seriously, and I'll one thing I will back ourselves in saying is I think I'm very proud of the fact we have a very good product. But I don't know, sometimes you see the setup certain people have. Look at where we're sitting now, and you get a little bit of an insecurity of like, I don't want someone to come in and think, oh, is that it?
Yeah, I hear
and
what
I
you're
don't
saying
think he would be that person at all.
That
just
is
an insecurity, isn't it? You have a little insecurity about this kind of thing.
It's interesting, but do you know what it is as well? My man is actually the king of Snapchat, bro.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Stevo is the king of
he
that
is Snapchat.
App. Yeah,
and before as well, before shows, before that was
he was the king, bro.
Yeah,
that was.
He's the king of that thing.
Stevo and DJ Khaled were the two people that pretty much everyone followed.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, without them, I don't even know what Snapchat.
Both hilarious for very different reasons.
Yeah, crazy.
Stevo intentionally, DJ Khaled not so much.
God, dude,
crazy still. That even that is jokes. I wanted to actually ask you, man, something, because I've been seeing it online. Well, I saw it online today, and it's funny that you was coming in because we're obviously not like this. I hope man have never been like this. Yeah.
What if I was now? That's awkward.
Okay, so there's a video now, TikTok.
Yeah.
Donnie, a man, is getting onto women that go on dates with men that don't drive.
Oh, I saw this.
And he was like, oh, like how can girls go on dates with men that don't drive? And then he started laughing. Now I don't know if it was banter or not yet. But I was just like, is this what we've become?
No, but you got
but bro, You, like if a woman actually went on Snap and said something like that, you could hear it because everyone's got their preferences and stuff.
Yeah.
But for a man to do that to his own,
To his brethren.
like his own species, like, and a man's actually like, because basically you're saying, like I drive, or in another scenario, I can imagine him seeing a girl with a guy at a bus stop and driving past and be like, do you want to get in? That's the type of vibe that I was getting from man.
Just quickly though, what you have to remember is that everything on TikTok, for me anyway, has to be taken with a pinch of salt.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like, there's no way that he was making that statement without knowing he's gonna get traction. He probably knew straight away. He probably even thought in his head, what can I do to rattle a couple cages today? I've done it bare times. Do you think half the things I put on my story are not to rattle people's cages, bro?
Yeah, but you don't say them as your. You don't.
I know, but I still know that it's because I'm a bit more conservative. Some people don't care. See what I'm saying? They don't care if it's them or somebody else saying it. He's gonna say whatever he wants because he knows it will get traction. I kind of hear it. Do I agree? Obviously not. Like, anyone in their stage, whatever stage they are at in their life, some people might not be able to afford a car, and that's fine. There's plenty of women out here who wouldn't give a shit whether you drive or not.
So if a woman actually did care if you drove or not, do you think that that's an issue?
You can get dropped out, bro.
I think she's probably not the right person for the, like, if I was in a situation where I didn't drive and I met a girl and she was like, oh, you don't drive, I can't be with you, my first thought would be, you're probably not the kind of person I want to be with then.
You're not the one
if
for
that's
me.
the way you think.
Yeah.
I agree with Sav in that I think the guy knows what he's doing. He knows he's gonna, but what I will say is, as much as I think he knows what he's doing, and fair play to him because he's succeeded, he's obviously, you know, he's got himself traction off the back of it, and you can't knock that. But you also have to sometimes think that even though if it's TikTok, there probably is people out there that do hold that view.
Yeah,
whether it's him or not.
That's why he said. That's
And
what.
so,
If he didn't mean it, then that's why he said it.
So it's unpopular opinions, isn't it? It's always going to be. So it wouldn't, if it was in my situation, I would be like, well, then me and you don't work. But I guess it's preference, isn't it? Certain people. Look, all I'll say is I know situations in the past where myself or no people have been in situations where you go and if when you're dating, when you're single, whatever, and you go pick a girl up. I know there's girls in the past that have said, I've never been picked up before to go on a date, and it's a nice thing. And so I get that there's
that's when I know I'm winning.
there's definitely there's definitely moments when it's like, oh cool, it's nice to be able to drive, whatever. And even forget for relationships, a car and the ability to drive is freedom, isn't it? And it's your independence to go and do something. But should it define anyone? God no. Like you people live life at your own. The one thing I think people need to learn in this world is that we aren't all running the same race. Everyone moves at their own pace, at their own time.
Facts.
And certain things will be up for people when they're not for others, and there's nothing wrong with that.
But we've all got the same 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, that is one thing to make very clear. We don't all live the same 24 hours, and that means that people, you know, you just gotta, not to get too sort of like deep and Instagram quotey about it.
Philosophical. He could switch this on in any second. You know, it's mad.
Well, I'm not gonna do that. Do you know what?
No, dude, I actually want to hear. I need to hear the punch.
It just seems deep now. It sounds so basic, innit? But if you just focus on yourself, innit? If you're talking about it as the analogy of not running the same race, just run your marathon. You'll get there. It might take you longer, but if it takes you longer, you might feel the achievement more when you end up doing it. So also, this is the one thing I think is cliche to say, but one thing I've learned, and this is because not even there yet, but trust me, the journey is as enjoyable as certain things that you end up achieving.
Facts.
So try to live a bit more present and realise, take the wins in life where you can take the wins. Do you know what I mean?
Not only is it more enjoyable, it's, for me anyway, yeah, and I'm not where I want to be in life, and I hope not to be there for a long time, because the destination is where it ends.
Yeah, what do you do after?
Like, after you've got to the top and you've plateaued, that's it. Where else are you gonna go from there? I feel like everything that happens in between is what defines you as a human, not where you get to. There's people who've won a lottery and have got 100 M's in their bank account.
Yeah.
They've got no story other than the fact that they've got their 100 M's.
Look at
Like
us three in terms of look at how many conversations we've had
Mm.
about old times, times that have passed, things we did or whatever, videos we did or whatever it might be, and how fondly, even if they went. Most of the stories that we enjoy talking about are when something didn't go to plan.
Facts. Yeah.
They're usually the ones that you learn most, you live off most, you get most enjoyment, especially if you can share it with people. So when you get to the top, your stories are, I remember when everything was sweet. That's not fun. Enjoy the like J. Cole said it best, there's beauty in the struggle.
There is
Definitely true, but also I feel like with a lot of people, depending on how ambitious you are, there is no end anyway. So I think it depends on what type of person you are. There's some people who happy to, do what they need to do and then kick back and say, I did what I needed to do. And there's other people who work until they're 65 because nothing is ever enough.
Yeah.
I don't know which person I would rather be, but either way, the journey is what is the part of your life that I would want to look back on and enjoy it, not where I am at that current moment in time. Do you get what I'm saying? But
if man say to you, like, where do you want to be in 5 years? What? Because
On episode 500 of the On the Rocks podcast.
What I used to say when I was younger, and I don't know if I was too deep when I was younger, because in my year 11,
you definitely were, bro. I've seen you dancing and everything there.
Yeah, that hat. Remember that hat? Yeah,
the bowler.
The bowler hat.
That was great, bro. I was singing at the Royal Albert Hall, fam. Can you say you done that?
Yes, I can actually.
In that
no,
hat,
sorry, Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, I was singing for the Queen actually at the Royal Albert
You sang
Hall,
for the Queen.
and there was 6 of us, and I
sang
was
for
one
Liz.
of the main singers. Yeah, that was a great moment. Actually,
She was there, yeah.
No, I don't think she was. She might have
Do you
watched
know,
it though.
me and Obo were having a conversation
School
the other
proms
week.
thing.
We were going to a NBA 2K event. Shout out to 2K. Shout out to Tom. Shout out to Mo.
Shout out to him. And Mo even legend.
And we were talking about something about the Queen had come up because it was around that time when everything was going on. And Obo went, "Yeah, I bucked her once." And the way he said it, I went, "Bro, she didn't arrange to meet you."
I did though.
She was like,
I
I need
did.
to go to this school because Oba's there. I need
went
to go
my
say hi."
primary school. Yeah, was called Jubilee.
Yeah, but you didn't bark her. Like,
So she came to my school because it was her Jubilee. She came and she was shaking kids' hands, bro. And I was one of those kids. Like, we had our moment. But anyway, before that was before I moved. Anyway, what I was saying, year 11, I said in my book, they said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Actually, another one. I've got a poem in one of these like poetry books about.
I am not surprised.
Nah, it's mad, bro. I'll even get the book. I promise you. The song is called it's not even a song. It's a poem, but it was a song that I put into a poem and then they rated it.
Go
I
on.
was gonna sing it then.
I can't
He
sing
was,
it. I
yeah.
can't actually sing it because
No, you was about to. You went up.
Yeah,
you
I
was
know.
about to go
I
in.
realized the content and it's very, it's
give us
deep.
a line. Give
It's
us a
deep.
little line from it. Like,
They are so lonely and so poor. That's the start.
Do you know one
That's the
thing
start.
I love about Oba? You know most people have that like, nah,
man, not do it. Man was
Nah,
doing
man.
it.
didn't even wait to finish that.
Of course, man.
I'll just give us a bit straight in. They are so lonely.
I'll give you the rest after, yeah. But in year 11, they said, where do you want to be in the next 5 years? And I just put happy, yeah. And I remember my mum used to question me
Oh,
like,
this guy.
no, no,
The
11.
reason I'm not laughing is because
16 years
no,
old.
I'll get the book and I'll even put it. I promise you.
16
yeah.
years old. I bet you handed it over like, come on.
No, because
Read that.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily know where or what career path I wanted to go down. I just knew that I wanted to be happy doing whatever I'm doing. So when my mum used to question me like, because obviously sometimes your parents will look at them books and be like, what are you trying to be or whatever. They wanted me to go down the lawyer thing because man talks, and my older sister, we were similar and she wanted to be a lawyer. And they're like, yeah, like, and I was just like, nah, I genuinely just want to be happy. Sixth form, same thing, everything. Like,
The only thing is though, I think you were wiser when you were that age than when you were older. Because let's get this right.
I don't say
When did you start at DV? So when did we meet?
2018.
2018. So you were how old then?
24 years ago, so 23.
23.
26, 25.
23.
23?
Yeah.
So at 23 years old, I remember one of the first conversations we had keep in mind at year 11 he said happy. We talked about it, like, so what would be your dream life? And he said, I want to be a pro footballer by day and Chris Brown by night.
You're lying.
He actually said that.
You 100% said that.
You said
That's
You
that.
said
not-
you want to be a superstar entertainer by night.
Okay.
So you went from
I'll take
happy
that. I'll
to
take that.
this guy.
No, okay, because at that point, yeah, so it has changed a little bit. I do want to be happy, yeah, but I know what I want to do to be happy.
Okay.
Like, so it is
is
a
what?
journey. Like, I'm enjoying the journey. I just want to keep on entertaining in whatever capacity I can.
That's
Found
cool.
it in
I like
sports, lifestyle, music, all of that stuff. Like, it's just entertainment. That's where I found my joy in it. But don't stop bringing the Chris Brown into it.
No, but that is actually a narrative that you were spinning though.
I
Like
said
you were saying the Chris Brown
talent
thing
wise, I said talent wise.
doesn't matter.
It's talent wise. The
Alright,
guy's
what
gifted and
if I
talented.
said to you, let me just ask you, if somebody said, if you could be as talented as one person, and I said R. Kelly, is that a calm answer?
No, because he could only sing. He could only sing and write songs. Chris Brown
But he's the
could
greatest
do
R&B
everything.
artist of all time.
I don't care. I don't care. Chris Brown could actually do everything, fam.
The one thing I
Sing,
will
dance.
the one thing I will say slightly in his defense here is in 2022 it's hard to find someone to look up to that hasn't got
That is
something mad
weird
in
about
their
it.
Yeah,
past.
but there's
And
enough
I
of
don't
them
look
not to
up
say
to him.
Chris
Don't
Brown.
ever get
No,
that
of
twisted.
course, yeah.
I didn't look up to man. I just said
No, you
talent
did.
wise.
You did.
Don't be
You
disrespectful.
even defended him
No, I
on
didn't.
multiple occasions. And the reason you're smiling and laughing is because
That's
you know it's
not
true.
true.
Okay.
Actually, because in the court of law, if we do this by the court of law,
Yeah.
what I said wasn't wrong. Yeah,
you wanna say it
lot
again
was
then?
just no.
Say it again
You
then.
lot were using
Say it
your
again. If
moral.
it's not
no,
wrong,
you
say it
lot were
again.
using your moral compass, which is fair enough. Everyone can use that. Not
You
saying he's the
were-
greatest
you-
guy. I think he could be a wrong. He's done wrong things.
You were
A lot
looking
of
at the
people.
art of the person.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
He's an artist.
Okay.
That's it. Like I said, where do you guys want to be in 5 years? Are your questions answers any different to mine?
Me in 5 years. I mean, I'm old, so still knocking about.
Just
I mean,
alive in that.
yeah, just still about in that.
Alive.
You're so dumb, man.
Where would I want to be in 5 years? I don't know, man. It's a tough question. In 5 years' time, it's sort of like when you get to my age, you sort of look at 5 years and you sort of start thinking about it's about more than work stuff. It's like
Family settings.
it's marriage and kids and things, isn't it? So,
Jeez, little White Rhinos and them, man. There, you get me? The
No, let's call your dad the White Rhino.
Uncle Sam and Uncle Sam.
I love that.
Or but Uncle. That'd be it. It won't be Uncle Sam, it'll be Uncle. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe that. Just that, and like having. I would be very, very happy if in 5 years' time I have the same people close to me in my life that I have now. Because one thing that I will say is when I'm talking about trying to be present, one thing I've realised over the past couple of years, probably since COVID actually, is that you take some time to kind of reflect on your life and the people around you and whether I've got those people in my life that you see once a month, once every 3 months, once a week, every day. All of those people that are currently at this stage in my life, I'm very, very, very happy to have all of them. And I'm very happy that I have strong relationships with those people. So I'd like to maintain that. And it's one of those things where I'm never against meeting new people, but I love the people that are in my life. So it's not like I'd love to meet new people. So I'm quite good, man. I'm happy. I just want more experiences with those people, especially the ones closest to me. So, whatever that brings in life is whatever it brings.
I was just gonna add to that. I feel like you're gonna be in a mad senior position in this thing still.
No, I don't think so.
I think you will. Whether it's on your own back, off your own back, or
I think Dave's more likely to fuck it all off, bro.
you reckon?
I think he's more likely to say.
I feel like
this
you'll
is
be doing a
dead.
disservice to a lot of not even a lot of people, but just who you have been, and what you've done.
Sorry, what is this? What
No.
do you mean who I've been and what I've done? What have I done?
Bro, do you not deep? I feel like you don't deep what you've done for people though.
I don't really think... I'd rather not get into it in a pod because I don't like... As in, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean I don't know what the stuff we're talking about is, and I don't really like to be the subject of stuff. So
change people's lives for the better.
I don't... Yeah, but that's mad, man. That's too deep.
It's
That's
not deep. It's what you've done,
it's
bro.
not- no,
Fam, it's what you've done.
It's very nice of you to say.
No, but I'm being deadly serious. Like when man will chat to me or like, bro, you're one of those people that man would say, yeah, like,
Dave's a guy.
Yeah, you're like, seriously, like we say it on even when you're not here, but
Get
like,
me?
that's why I say in the future, if you can be bothered, I think it will be in a bigger
But it's
capacity.
not about. Do you know what it is? It's not about being bothered, bro. And me and you and whoever else and various people have spoken about it in the past. When you get into the mindset of the corporate lifestyle, yeah, and being tied into almost having that as your achievement. I made it to a senior level.
Yeah, not about that.
But I don't mean
But
it.
Who cares?
I don't mean it that way. I just
If you mean
I
it
don't,
in terms of in personal relationships,
no, but
fine. In terms of a work capacity, I'm kind of anti that. I almost feel like the higher you go up, the less you can help.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Whatever way you get there, you'll get there. I don't know how it's gonna be. Whether it's gonna be a direct thing, whether it's gonna be on your own with someone. I just know that just seeing the trajectory, yeah, genuinely, whether you want to believe it or not, this is just me. Like, you know what I mean? But I actually just see you like just being in a position where whether it's content, just putting, it's just all gonna mesh together, and then
Maybe
yeah.
look. I mean,
HORNER Limited.
The hope is always that you're in a position where you're in more control of your own life, work, and future, I guess, and money, I guess, to be in more control of that kind of thing. And if you could, I guess, yeah, it kind of tying into what you'd say, if my work could become more about things I do with friends, that would be a big plus. If we could be sustainable in that world, that would be a very nice place to be.
You gotta make some friends then, innit? Really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I really do have to.
Like, if you wanna do that.
But do you know what the maddest thing is for me? If you're actually asking in terms of a professional capacity, this kind of plays into what we do and even sitting here. But I guess in a professional capacity, I have this mindset that I remember when I was a kid, when I was first listening to radio and stuff, I remember always thinking to myself, wouldn't it be cool to just have to talk for a living? Like, I can do that. I can give me a topic and we can discuss it. Even like, you don't have to know anything about it. I'm quite happy to be the keen person learning about whatever, but just talking. I think I can hold conversation well. So if that was to become more of what it became, if I could fulfill that kind of the kid looking at it going, oh, it'd be cool just to be able to sit there and chat and make a living out of it, then yeah, cool. I'm also someone that I'm not really, I want to be comfortable, but I'm not really about, I want to be a millionaire or whatever. I want a good life where things are not as hard as they sometimes need to be. That's pretty much it. What about you?
Yeah, what about you, Sav?
What about me? 5 years. It's hard to even picture yourself 5 years from now, in terms of like.
Probably fat again, because you've had a good journey and then.
Potentially, yeah. I'll be real with you. Like, the way man's carrying on right now is not good. It's always a possibility.
I'm allowed to say that because
one of my brethren said it to me the other day. I felt quite violated. He said, "You're kind of like Rihanna." I said, "What?" He said,
That's
"Bro, your fluctuations are crazy."
I was watching some old videos the other day.
Yeah, bro.
Of just like I got the access back to the old VYB channel. So you're going through looking at stuff that obviously is not public anymore and whatever videos we used to do. And it's mad that two things I would say is that, first of all, you have had up and
I
downs.
was fat, bro. It's not even
Bro,
like
I'm
overweight.
looking at things thinking I was
I
thin.
was fat. Yeah.
I was slim. The fins are stretch. I was
No.
slimmer.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed, is we all gave him a lot of stick when he changed to this trim, right?
Yep.
All saying he shouldn't do it.
I remember.
When I go back and watch stuff, I will hold my hands up and say, at this moment in time, I think this looks better.
I think you can rock both.
You didn't look bad, by no means.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you were also
because
a bit
I
bigger.
was fat.
Yeah.
It's a different thing.
So it
if
could
I
be
was
game over. If
No,
you
but
did
it
now.
could be
potentially.
Exactly though.
If I waved it up again,
Exactly though.
it might be, but I don't think that would be fair. Because if I was to
Fair.
what Jim,
And he
Wait,
I'm
he
says
main
you're
character.
main
Yeah,
Are you
exactly,
mad?
I told you.
it's for banter. This guy actually believes it.
One
He
nil.
believes he can sing as well.
It's
Yeah, it's a big
fair.
one,
It's
though.
fair.
Big
So
one.
there.
But to answer your question properly, bro, I want to be in a position where I don't actually work because I have to. I want to be in a position where I work because I want to.
It's cool.
It's different. Do you get what I'm saying? If I can ever be in a scenario where man will come to me with 10, 15 bags to do one video, and I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
I would love to be in that position.
We need that.
No, but what I'm saying is like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Like, I don't want to be one of these people who has to do certain things because the bag is saying a lot.
Yeah.
I would rather be in a scenario where I've already got my 3 houses. I've got what I need to do. I go on 4 or 5 holidays a year.
Portfolios and
Your 10 bags.
You want to work, yeah.
Your 10 bags is not saying a lot to me.
Yeah.
But times it by 5, then I might be coming to the
It's
table.
a nice position to be in.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but other than that, again, it's about working towards a destination and just enjoying the moments in between, innit? I just want to say that I can look back and say, boom, I actually took time to enjoy it. Because a lot of people don't. I know really successful people who you can almost see it in the way they speak. It's just grinding. You're just grinding, constant. There's no enjoyment. I don't want to be that guy either.
This started from the guy talking about driving. How did we get here?
I have no idea.
Because we're deeper.
Yeah, no, we always go too deep sometimes. But
Because Dave's it.
Dave's a little bit of a deep one.
There's actually one thing I must say before we move on to whatever, because I kept thinking to myself, I need to bring this up just because we haven't mentioned it, and I want to mention it if I'm on the show. Shout out to Quincy. You guys had Quincy on the show
Large
a couple of weeks ago.
I tried to get him on. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I tried to get him on, but it was too short notice.
No, but
Too short notice. But
we're talking 11 years old.
Yeah,
I was when I met that guy.
I know. That's
40 years ago.
It's good. The guy happy.
That was
isn't it?
good.
The guy happy.
That was good. That was really good.
That makes me 51. But yeah, it was quality to see. It was mad to see. It was actually one of those like weird Inception things. It's like,
coming together.
Two worlds coming. I remember when I got together with D, Sav said to me, because Sav and my better half went to school together, and Sav said to me for a long time, this is weird for him at times because it's two worlds meshing together that he never thought. When Quincy was sitting on the sofa here, I was watching him thinking, this feels odd to me because I know you know him through people, but I don't. You two don't link to that world for me in terms of my past. But yeah, trust. I'll say this. I said this to you a long time ago when we first talked about him and the content he was making. Funny guy. Yeah. And as always, I'll say this from when we was in school. A lot of people say about someone's got that like sparkle of, you know, that. I remember that he was the kind of person where when you used to do drama class, you know, there's that person where you're sort of like
me.
I hope we'll get paired up together. Yeah. Because I know
I know
we're
that.
both good at what we're doing.
I know that feeling still.
Did you say that, bro?
No, but I just
Like,
know
like
that.
like
Me.
me.
Yeah, no, like I know that, like people that sparkle, bro. Sparkle when you're younger, bro.
But yeah, he was Quincy was always one of those guys that was like, he's good at this. He's very funny. He's very natural. Yeah, entertaining was natural to him.
Big
so
up, man.
I remember for years, like afterwards, because we like when we were first working, like years ago, tried to sort of arrange meeting up a couple times, and what with life and whatever things, you know, you sort of have to push things back and things don't happen and whatever. But it was always on the cards at one point we were gonna meet up again, and then
we gotta make this happen then.
Like his music and stuff, and then obviously with TikTok blowing, it's good. It's always good to see people that you've known from a stage in your life doing well for themselves, and it's always a nice position to be in. So, yeah, mad to see him on here. And shout out to Quinn.
Yeah, no, definitely. We need to get you guys on still, because
that would be cool, man. That would be crazy.
Both literally did monologues about each other.
Yeah. Flipping hell.
This is the end of this episode. I genuinely actually don't want to go though, because this is I've enjoyed this chat.
I put a thing out asking for questions from people, and we didn't even get around to
it. I was going to do a segment as well, but
we'll do it again. We can even run this back next week if you man are both available still.
Yeah. Like, why not? Well, are you around?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like you was on holiday?
That's you. You're the one that's just been going everywhere.
Jet set, isn't it?
Guys, we appreciate you for tuning in to another episode of On The Rocks podcast. You know what we said, 50th episode. We appreciate you lot for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit up HORNER as well on his TikTok.
Yeah.
Because
HORNER_DM.
It's actually not. It's the White Socrates. Philosophical day.
Make sure you hit him up. And you already know mine and Sav's socials. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
You're done now.
Peace.